I want to start with the part that still keeps me awake. I saw my father sitting in the dark, drinking alone, even though he died 33 years ago. And the worst part, he looked at me like he had been waiting for me to remember something. Welcome to Folktale Vault, where we bring you dark stories, strange legends, and forgotten mysteries from across Africa. If you enjoy storytelling and chilling folktales, please like, subscribe, and share this video. It helps the channel grow and brings more stories your way. Now, let's dive into the story. I grew up in a small village in southern Nigeria, not far from a place people called Odo Akpe. Nothing special about it, just farms, mud houses, old men playing Ayo, and the normal gossip, but currently living in the U.S. now. But there was one thing everybody feared, the palm wine from Odo Akpe. The elders called it Omi Iran, the drink of memories. People said the wine wasn't ordinary. They said the tappers in that area never lived long. They said the trees grew on a buried shrine, and the roots drank things that were not water. When I was young, I thought it was just village superstition. I don't think that anymore. How it started last December, I went back home for my cousin's wedding, and also, Dirty December. I needed a break from work, stress, U.S. Wahala, everything. My uncle, Baba Cola, was in charge of drinks for the wedding. He was excited, shouting up and down, calling people my guy, even calling small children chairman. While helping him sort out crates, I noticed a clay jar in the corner, old, heavy, black stains all over it. "What's inside?" I asked. He smiled too fast. "Forget that one." Of course I didn't forget. Later that night during the after party, when most guests were dancing and shouting, he brought that jar out. He placed it on a small table and whispered, "This one is for men." The men sitting there started nodding like they understood something secret. When he opened the jar, the smell hit me first. Warm, sweet, but also sharp, like something old had just woken up. "Is this palm wine?" I asked. "Original Odo Akpe," he said proudly. "Very strong, only for the brave." I should have walked away, but I wanted to prove I was not a city weakling. So I drank one cup, and that was enough for everything to begin. The moment the wine touched my tongue, it felt normal. But after a few seconds, a cold feeling crawled up my back, not fear, just cold, like wet fingers touching my spine. Then the noise around me started fading. The music, the shouting, the laughter, everything went quiet, not silent. Quiet, like I was underwater. Then I saw something, a flash, a face, my father's face, not the face I saw in pictures, not the face I remembered as a child. This was him sitting under the mango tree behind our house, sharpening his machete. And he was staring at me like he was disappointed. I blinked, and the vision disappeared. I thought the alcohol was playing with me. But the quiet feeling stayed. After the wedding, I couldn't sleep. The house was dark and hot, and the generator outside kept coughing and stopping. Around 2 a.m., I got up to drink water. As I passed the living room, I heard a sound. Tock, like a cup hitting wood. "Who's there?" I asked. No answer. The living room light was off, but the moon was coming through the window. That's when I saw him. A man sitting at the table, bent forward, shoulders broad, hands wrapped around a calabash cup. His head slowly turned toward me. It was my father, or something wearing his face. He smiled, but the smile didn't reach his eyes. My throat dried. I couldn't move. He lifted the cup and pointed it at me. "Sit," he said softly. The voice was my father's voice, calm, heavy, deep. I wanted to run, but my legs felt distant. I sat down opposite him. Then he pushed the cup toward me. "Drink." I shook my head. He leaned closer. "You must remember." I blinked, and suddenly he was gone. No sound of a door, no movement, just gone. The cup was still there, and it was full. The next day I didn't tell anyone. Who would believe me? A grown man seeing dead people after one cup of palm wine? But I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I went to the palm wine tapper who supplied my uncle. His name was Okay, a quiet man with eyes that looked older than his body. I asked him where he got the wine. He watched me for a long, uncomfortable time. Then he said, "Did you drink it?" I nodded. He sighed. "You should not have done that." "Why?" He looked around like someone was listening. "That wine is not for taste. It is for truth." I didn't understand. "What truth?" He touched his chest. "The truth you hide from yourself." That night, I refused to sleep. Around 1:45 a.m., the cold feeling returned. I knew the wine was doing something to me. This time, I didn't wait. I went to the living room myself. The cup was there again, full, waiting. I touched it with one finger, and the room vanished. I saw myself as a child, maybe 7 years old, running into the bush with my father chasing me. He was shouting my name, not in anger, in fear. I remembered that day, or I thought I did. My whole life, I believed he beat me that day because I broke something. But what I saw in the vision was different. I saw myself hiding behind a fallen log. I saw something move near me, something dark, something taller than a man but shaped like one. My father reached me first. He grabbed me and pulled me back, and behind us the dark shape leaned forward, sniffing the air. Then I saw it clearly. It had no face, just a smooth black surface where the face should be. My father whispered, "Don't look. Don't ever look." Then the memory cut off. I fell to the floor in the living room, shaking. All this time, I thought my father beat me to punish me, but maybe he was protecting me from something I wasn't allowed to remember. By now, I was scared to sleep in the house. I told my uncle I needed fresh air and went to stay in the old shed behind the compound. But the wine didn't care. At exactly 2 a.m., I woke up with the cold feeling again. This time, the cup wasn't in the living room. It was in front of me, inside the shed, sitting on an old stool. The smell was stronger now, sweet, but also rotten. Like something old inside it was getting impatient. I decided to end it one way or another. I took the cup with both hands and drank. All of it. The world tilted. The shed walls dissolved. The ground fell away. And suddenly, I was standing in a place I didn't remember, and yet I knew it. A forest clearing, branches hanging low, moonlight falling on red earth, and there, sitting on a rock, was my father, alive, breathing, waiting. He didn't look surprised to see me. He looked tired. "Now you're ready," he said. "Ready for what?" I asked. "To remember what happened the night I died." My heart started pounding. I was there the night he died. But I had no memory of it. I always believed he died in an accident on his motorcycle. But now, I wasn't so sure. My father stood up and walked toward a large tree. Roots twisted out of the ground like veins. "You were with me," he said quietly. "No," I whispered. "I wasn't. I never—" He shook his head. "You forgot, because forgetting kept you alive." The shadows around us started moving slowly, like they were breathing. My father pointed at the tree. "Touch it." I didn't want to, but something pulled me. When my fingers touched the bark. Memories hit me. Like blows, I saw myself on that night. I was riding behind my father on the motorcycle. We stopped in the forest because something ran across the road. Something black. Something faceless. The same thing from my childhood memory. It stood in front of us. My father pushed me behind him. He shouted something I didn't understand. The creature moved. Fast. Too fast. It reached for me. My father stepped in front of it. It touched him, and he fell. No blood, no wound, just gone, like his soul was pulled out. I screamed, and then something bright flashed, a white light, and I forgot everything. The memory ended. I was back in the shed, breathing hard, sweating, shaking. That morning, I went back to the palm wine tapper. Before I even spoke, he said, "You remembered?" I nodded. "What was that thing?" I asked. He shook his head. "I don't know its name. Nobody knows. But it comes for children who wander too far into the old parts of the forest." "Why did the wine make me remember?" I asked. He looked sad. "Because it was time. The wine does not choose wrongly. It brings back the memory that refuses to stay buried." I swallowed hard. "What do I do now?" He stared at me for a long time. Then he said, "Pray it doesn't come again, because once it remembers you, it never forgets." I left the village the next morning. I thought the memories would fade as soon as I reached US. For a while they did. But last night changed everything. I was sitting alone in my apartment around 1:58 a.m. when I heard a knock on my door. 3 soft knocks. Not loud, but familiar. A pattern I hadn't heard since I was a child. I froze. My father used to knock like that. I went to the door but didn't open it. I just stood there listening. Then a voice whispered from the other side, "You forgot one more memory." My heart almost stopped. "Who are you?" I asked. The voice didn't answer. Instead, something slid under the door. A folded piece of old brown paper. I picked it up with shaking hands. Inside was a drawing I made when I was maybe 7 years old. I recognized my childish handwriting, the crooked lines, the shaky letters. But what I drew is what made my stomach twist. It was the dark, faceless thing from the forest. And beside it, a small boy. Me. But there was something else in the picture, something I never expected. A second figure, not my father. A woman holding my hand, smiling. I didn't understand at first. Then I saw the note at the bottom, written in a handwriting that wasn't mine. "You were not alone that night." I stared at the drawing for a long time. Everything inside me felt wrong, because my mother died giving birth to me. At least, that's what I had always been told. But the woman in that drawing, the one holding my hand, she had my mother's face, and she wasn't running from the faceless thing. She was walking toward it, like she knew it, like she brought me there on purpose. The knocks came again. 3 soft knocks. "Remember," the voice whispered, "you are not the only one it wants." I stepped back from the door, shaking, because the biggest memory wasn't what happened to my father. It was what my mother did before she disappeared, and now that the wine has opened that door, I think she's coming back.